Once how to make our neighborhood a better place. Although sometimes it feels like much like the rodent-plagued denizens of Hamlin Town and the Legend of the Pied Piper, we spend most of our time talking about rats. But it is a pleasure to have you all here on this beautiful Sunday or summer evening. So before we get started, let me take attendance and see who is here tonight. Commissioners, if you are here, please say present when I call your name. Commissioner Pinckney. Commissioner Bell.
Here.
Commissioner Lucarelli. Commissioner Corniotis.
Yeah.
Commissioner Morensic.
Here.
Commissioner George. Commissioner Weigel.
Here.
And I am here. So we have a quorum and we can get some business done. First thing on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Are there any changes or amendments to the agenda as it has been posted on the ANC website? Hearing none, the agenda is approved by unanimous consent. Next up, we have approval of the May minutes. Are there any edits, changes, or emendations from any of the commissioners to the minutes?
No, then. They were wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner Bell.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Hearing none, the May minutes are approved by unanimous consent. Next up, we have the Treasurer's Report by Treasurer Corniotis. Treasurer Corniotis, I'm going to turn the camera over to you and you can tell us how our finances are on.
Good evening, everybody. Our finances remain stable. We just have to work with, excuse me, the Office of ANC to ensure that our disbursements are distributed in the near future, and we will then open up for grant submission.
Questions from any commissioners for the treasurer? By the way, for those of you who are members of the public who are here tonight joining us either in person or virtually, there will be an opportunity for everybody to ask questions or speak up or provide comments. At the end of the meeting, we have about the last 30 minutes or so blocked out for public commentary. So just so you're aware. No commissioner or questions for Commissioner Corniotis? Okay, we will move on. Next, we have comments from city officials. First up, we have their council member's office, Council Member Janice Lewis George, who is joining us tonight virtually. So thank you, Council Member, for joining us.
Hello. Congratulations, Commissioner or Council Member, I'm sorry, on your recent win. We're very
Oh, thank you.
And we will turn it over to you, Council Member, and to Ms. Rogers. Thank you for joining us.
Wonderful. Good evening, everyone. It's so good to be here with you all. Whoever is the administrator, can I be able to share screen just for 1 second? Can anybody make me an admin just to share screen for a second?
Yes, if you just give us 1 second,
Okay.
I think you should be all set now.
Okay. So I wanted to stop by because, you know, we've been working on, the council just took its final vote on budget yesterday. And 4D commissioners worked incredibly hard showing up for this budget. And I'm proud of the wins that we were able to win for 4D. And I could not have done it without the commissioners here on this call. And so I wanted to come present on behalf of not only my office, and myself, but your 4D commissioners who really put in the work and showed up at hearings to make sure we were able to make these wins happen. So first up, we were able to secure $2 million to bring a library facility to Kennedy Street to address the library service gap in Brightwood Park and Manor Park. I want to specifically thank Commissioner Joy Pinckney, Commissioner Abell, who were there at the hearing and provided just great testimony and convincing testimony. We've been able to turn the tides, and DC Public Libraries and the board and the directors, who at first was not really on board with this plan, has now changed course and are excited about what we'll be able to bring to Kennedy Street Library, bringing a library facility. They have committed to community transparency and working with the ANC commissioners. The money is secured to be able to figure out acquiring the property and making sure that a library facility will be put in place there. And as they get to the designing phase and phases of that nature, they will be coming back to 4D specifically to talk to you all about what that vision should look like and what it should be like. So it really was your advocacy and your hard work that got us there. And even in a tough budget year, we were able to make sure that happened. We were able to secure $13 million for upgrades to the Emory Heights Community Center. Emory Heights Community Center serves so many of our young people, so many of our students, families, et cetera, and seniors. As you know, we've had ongoing issues with the elevator working at Emory because the building is so old, it's outdated. And so every time they fix the elevator, it breaks again. The reality is Emory needs it's time for their upgrade. And so they will begin the design phase at the end of this year for Emory. This money is for the community center. There's also an additional pot of money for the field. So they will making upgrades to the Emory field, and they will be making upgrades to the community center. Not sure yet which order they're going to do that in. But as always, we'll make sure DPR is engaging with the community, especially commissioners in 4D. We were able to make sure we maintain funding for our Georgia Avenue bus project and service lanes as well. Modernizations for Truesdale, which is happening right now, and a complete addition to Barnard Elementary School. So Barnard will be getting its modernized addition, which is really important for 4D. And so that funding is there, as well as DDOT projects, including traffic upgrades for Grant Circle and reconstruction of Kennedy Street. So that's just a small bit of the wins that we were able to win for ANC 4D, even in a tight budget year. I'm really proud to have worked with all of your commissioners to make and deliver some budget wins for our 4D community. Some overall other Ward 4 wins, I won't do all of them. We obviously supported Whittier as well with their temporary learning space. We're renovating the locker rooms at Tacoma Aquatic Center, which many people have asked about. Playground resurfacing will be happening at Hamilton, Raymond, and Fort Stevens Recreation Center. We were able to maintain funding for our violence interruption, our leadership training, and our safe passage for all of our Ward 4 schools, which we really are excited about, including finishing the Metro Branch Trail and rehabilitation at Eastern Avenue for projects of that nature as well. So a number of other good wins for Ward 4 across the budget. Want to highlight some other budgets that some of your commissioners actually showed up for, and why those were important. Many people showed up for childcare workers. So remember in 2021, through my Homes and Hearts Amendment, we had raised the wage for childcare workers. That was originally taken out in the mayor's original budget. We were able to restore $70 million to fully restore the pay equity fund for our childcare workers. We also were able to put 600 new vouchers for families to address housing stability. So vouchers for families and individuals is important. There's another tax incentive, two tax incentives that are important, which is the earned income tax credit, which will be a match of 85%, which was restored from 2021, and the new child tax credit. These are ways we support those working families most in need by having money go in their pockets every month to support their family. So a really huge win. Some things that have frustrated us: the 911 call center continues to not have enough, not be taking calls, still below the national average. We put in $1 million to hire additional 911 call takers, $13 million to triple MPD's CCTV camera footprint. As you know, we get requests, Councilman, we want a camera on this corner, on this corner. I had to fund cameras in the last budget just for 4D. This time around, we don't have to do that. Overall, money went to MPD across for CCTV. Another thing I did was fund our 4th district as far as being their community room and being able to put spaces there. Everyone is tired of all of these cars staying on our street with expired tags, with fake tags, etc. So I put money in to put 4 additional $312,000 in so they could hire 4 other new people to be doing towing and booting with the sweet team. My hope is that that will increase the amount of work we do there. Put some money in for our seniors for transportation as well. So really excited for the money we were able to put in for the connector card program which ran out of money for our seniors to be able to support their work as well. And so those are a few of the other additional things we were able to put in the budget overall. Obviously, it's a huge budget, so not able to say everything. I'm the chair of Facilities and Family Services, which is DGS and CFSA. So I just want to plug my little no one else will listen to my CFSA wins, but here's my opportunity to say we funded our Safe Shores program, which was fully taken out in the mayor's budget. We funded the Office of the Ombudsman for Children, which was totally struck out in the mayor's budget. But the most important thing is we started a program called 211 for many of our students and families. What we found is that when I got Child Family Services Agency, that we could only get family services if their child was in the neglect system or the juvenile justice system. And that was the only way for them to get support. We started an initiative called 211, where instead of families, no matter who you are, can get support for your children, whether it's, truancy, housing, insecurity, food insecurity. And that's through the funding of our collaboratives. And so Ward 4's collaborative is the Georgia Avenue Collaborative, as you know, on Georgia Avenue. And so families can call 211, be supported through Georgia Avenue Collaborative, and we put funding, $200,000 additional dollars into each of our collaboratives to be able to support the work of the Warm Line as well. So those are a few things we able to do in budget. As you know, we got the budget 3 weeks late, so we worked really hard. Now we are at the process where it has been certified. The CFO has certified it. It will go to Congress in the hopes that Congress will not touch it, except we are always expecting Congress to do something, especially in this highly politicized congressional time period. So we will let people know about that as well. So wanted to share budget wins. I just want to remind everybody for a few things. Tomorrow is our Better Bus Network meeting, which will be at 6:30 at Coolidge High School. The reason why this is important is because when the Better Bus Network came out, Ward 4 saw some substantial changes. And remember, WMATA is a quasi-government entity. They don't I can't legislate them to bring back a bus line. So the only way they're going to listen is if we all show up to this meeting where WMATA will be located. Right now, they're saying they're going to replace the E4, which impacts us in impacts 4D, the E4 with the C81 and C83, which means it would no longer serve from Lamont Riggs to Chevy Chase. In addition to that, they were going to be taking away the 63, which won't travel from Tacoma directly to Federal Triangle. This again impacts Tacoma, Brightwood Park, Manor Park, and Petworth. These are lines in addition to D33, the W45, 59, and the K2. So I'm telling people the only way I'm going to get the WMATA GM to change its mind on the bus routes that are currently being cut is if we show up as a community loudly and really make clear how much this is going to impact, especially our seniors, especially all of our road users. When we want more people to be using our bus lines, it's not the time for them to be cutting so many of our bus lines that connect our neighborhoods. Also, remember, our children rely on these bus lines to get to and from school because we have large and wide feeder patterns. So as many people who can show up tomorrow at 6:30, please show up. In addition to that, you can submit comments until July 15th at the betterbus.wmata.com/share. So if you cannot make it, I'm just asking every ANC commissioner specifically to submit comments at the Better Bus by July 15th. They don't have to be fancy comments, just like, hey, this is a bus my constituents, my seniors, and my SMD use every day. Cutting it would mean they can't get to and from the grocery store. It can be that simple of a comment, but those comments need to go in. The other thing before is our strategic summer public safety meeting, which we held every quarter, will be on Monday. That's going to be at Brightwood Education Campus. That meeting will have our Chief of Police, Pamela Smith, Commander Lavenhouse, our 4th District Commander, myself, and we have invited others. It's our opportunity to talk to the community about what we talk about in private. which is what our strategy is going into summer. What are we going to be implementing on a large scale to ensure safety during the summer, where we know we see an increase in crime, especially in those summer months. So it's the opportunity for the community to hear and be a part of that conversation with Chief Smith and Commander Levenhouse. So that's on Monday at 6:30 as well. And the last thing is the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. The applications open on July 1st at 12 o'clock. They also will be doing actually at UDC at Lamont Riggs campus, they will be helping people fill out ERAP applications from 12 to 4. So if you have any constituents or you are a constituent who needs assistance with rental assistance, please make sure you either go in person to Lamont Riggs to UDC or you're online at 11:45, 15 minutes before, because that money goes out very quickly. But if you need assistance with rent, that's the way to do it. So I know I've been talking for a long time, just wanted to stop by. Lastly, and certainly not least, to my ANC commissioners, this is my opportunity to beg you to run for reelection. I know public service is hard work. And I know it has been hard and arduous work, but we need good people to continue to serve our community, and we are better off when we are every SMD is represented. So this is my ask to you to reconsider running an additional term to serve our Ward 4 community. So thank you. And with that, Chair, I'll hand it back over to you. I can take questions, or you can keep going on your agenda, whichever you would like.
Thank you, council member. We appreciate you coming by tonight. Thank you for being here. Not sure how much time you have, but would you be open to taking some questions?
Absolutely, I'm here.
Perfect. Okay. I see Commissioner Lucarelli has his hand raised first.
Hey, Councilwoman, thank you for coming to our meeting tonight. It's great to see you. I had two things I wanted to talk about. One was the additional funding that you had discussed for the mayor's strategy to mitigate the abundance of unregistered and, more or less illegal, or whatever they're calling them in New York, ghost vehicles.
Mhm.
How confident are you in the mayor's approach to solving this issue? I listen to public radio often, and I've heard some encouraging reports on WAMU about additional hires and they're booting more. And, I do see anecdotally more of a presence in some areas. But, also anecdotally, the other day I was riding my bike from Walmart, coming from Kennedy Street where I live. And, a vehicle passed me driving absolutely insane, and the tag was 2020. And I was like, holy cow, I haven't seen one of those in a while. So, I understand that we can't be everywhere all at once. And I think it is encouraging that the mayor's taking this seriously, especially after a number of high profile incidents involving people who, quite frankly, shouldn't have been on the road. So are you confident in in the new strategy? And then the second issue is I just wanted to, I will absolutely either be there tomorrow or submit comments, because we cannot lose that E4. I mean, that's why folks live along Kennedy Street, is because you can get all the way across the parkway in it, and vice versa. So, we need that alignment in place. A lot of people rely on it, especially in 4003, where a lot of our folks are foreign born or first generation. So these are the folks that need it the most, because every dollar counts and everything's more expensive when you're poor. So thank you for your time. And that's all I got.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm confident. DPW has had some staffing changes, new director, new general counsel, different people in different positions. I'm confident with the new DPW team that we're going to see a shift. They've been doing different blitzes across the ward. And so I've just been encouraged and continue blitz, like repeated. So for one location, they've done it every Friday for the last 3 weeks because those cars kept coming back. And I feel like, with legislation we've passed, OAG has already started getting ready to do that work, which will be now filing lawsuits against individuals, out-of-state individuals who have outstanding tickets, who haven't paid because there's no reciprocity. Well, we're going to still sue them on behalf of the city because of the public interest. So with the new mechanism, OAG has set up a new office, 2 attorneys. They have hired 2 new attorneys now who will do that work, and they will be filing lawsuits, civil lawsuits on behalf of the city public interest for egregious cars. They're starting with cars who have the most tickets and outstanding fines right right now. And then they'll be working their way through. So I think with those two mechanisms in place, we'll see additional work. And again, in this budget, we added additional FTEs so that team could be more robust. So I feel confident that we're going to see a turnaround, and specifically because the scrutiny has been high. The public scrutiny has been high, that we'll see a significant change there.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Question from Commissioner Cornelius.
Evening, council member again. I have two quick questions. Who or how can we work together when it comes to what I would identify, and I know this is close to your heart as well, blighted properties that are uninhabited, because it obviously, is not aesthetically pleasing. It, increases rats and other, things that are in the neighborhoods. So, is there a way or a process established? I know that we've toured certain houses, but can we actually execute on that, one? And two, I've been contacted by a few constituents of mine regarding their homes being like their real estate tax being significantly increased to the point where they've paid off their homes for many years, and then all of a sudden their taxes have skyrocketed, probably due to the fact that their property has increased in value, but they weren't really prepared for that 150% increase in their taxes.
Yeah. So two things on vacant blighted properties with DOB, a few things. We're making sure they're being taxed at the highest degree through Office of Tax and Revenue. They're being taxed vacant, they're being tax blighted. Now, one issue remains is that if people pay their taxes, some people look at it as the sort of, I'll just pay the taxes, and it still remains vacant and blighted. So for example, like 701 Kennedy Street, which we've been trying to get up and running for about 7 years at this point, they pay their lease and they pay their vacant blighted tax. I'm not sure how they have all this money to just let it be, but that's the case. We are working right now. The chairman in my office have created a committee within the council staff to address vacant and blighted properties. And we're working on legislation right now to deal with this. We're putting together a comprehensive legislation. We're running into some issues with the takings clause and some constitutional issues about taking properties, et cetera. But we're trying to navigate that. But if your specific case, I would love to just come out with Department of Buildings. And usually that's helpful. We also have run into some probate cases. So two in your area, we're still in probate, meaning like for years someone died and the families are still fighting over the property. And so they've been sitting in probate for a really long time. And we've been trying to find a resolution for them as well to try to move that case along as well. So in some instances, it's people who are just getting the vacant blighted amount and just, and using as a cost of doing the business. In other instances, we have some properties that are in some very difficult probate situations, and we got to find a resolution for them. What was the second thing? I forgot. I'm sorry.
About like the increase in taxes of some residents.
Yeah. First of all, we've seen some issues with people being overtaxed. So people should be actually checking to make sure in time. I think the appeal deadline has passed, but a number of people have had to appeal because the ways the tax was assessed was improper. I know the chairman's office actually did a bunch of like mini sessions across the city and in the ward around assessment, but do remind seniors that they have two opportunities to have a reduction in their property taxes, and they can claim homestead, and there's an additional claim that they can make to reduce their property taxes. So if you have seniors who are getting that additional cost and they've paid off their houses, they should be still filing their exemptions because of their seniors.
And it looks like we have a question from Commissioner Morenzek.
Hello, yes, just a comment on the Barnard Elementary expansion. I just want to say I'm really happy to see that finally happening. I want to offer my assistance in educating any of the surrounding homeowners, myself being one of them. I think it would be really helpful for all of us to get involved in that. And I'm looking forward to working with you on public safety on the New Hampshire Avenue Farragut corridor this upcoming season.
And a question / comment from Commissioner Bell.
Commissioner, council member, I did it too.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I guess I also wanted to announce to everyone that you will be coming tomorrow, I believe,
Yeah.
right? To do a walkthrough of Kennedy Street. And to everyone in the virtual room and everybody here, if you want to join us, tomorrow at 1 p.m. we'll be meeting in front of Mita Cafe and doing a walkthrough of my single member district, but we'll be going pretty far along all the way to the chairman's ANC as well, SMD as well. So anybody wants to join us at 1 o'clock in front of Mita Cafe, we're gonna do a walkthrough, mostly through the alleys actually. But I just wanted to announce that and thank you for that opportunity. And
I think we'll be joined by DPW and DDOT as well.
absolutely, yes.
Other, do you,
Well, one final comment. You know how near and dear CFSA is to me, so thank you for all you do, and I will always be there to submit my testimony moving forward.
Thank you.
other questions or comments from either commissioners or members of the public? Hearing none, thank you, council member, very much for joining us this evening. We
Okay, now,
appreciate your
can I
presence.
say one thing, because it impacts you all? I know you all heard about the CVS pharmacy plans. 4D is impacted by that CVS as well. It's not just 4B. 4D goes there as well. We're working with CVS regional manager to figure out sort of what they determined behind the rationale behind this decision. And we're gonna figure out, originally we had just spoken to them about putting a mural up and making sure their trash was clean, and they didn't indicate to us at all that they would be closing. So this news comes at a shock to us. Losing pharmacies in the area is obviously a huge issue. 4D has been hit hard by this because we lost the original CVS as well on Georgia Avenue. So this has become a huge issue. CVS has transferred everybody's pharmacy. If you had medicines at that pharmacy, it has been transferred to 6514 Georgia Avenue, the CVS at Georgia Avenue in Van Buren. We're going to work with the Main Street and others to figure out a new pharmacy solution should the CVS maintain its position that they are going to close. This is happening across the city. CVS has said to us that the closure is due to them downsizing and looking at density and overall sales in different areas. And so, we've had issues in the past. I've been working with CVS because they never have adequate staffing and they never have adequate security. And they don't do well with trash pickup either. So I had already been trying to work with them to do better. And I was hoping that would be enough. But at this point, they're closing different locations across the city, and we are suffering as a result. So I will work with the Main Street, and I'll work with 4D to try to bring in another pharmacy if that pharmacy falters. So I just wanted to make sure I let you all know we are aware of this, and we're trying our best to mitigate as quickly as possible the pharmacy gap that our 4D specifically is experiencing, which is really hurting many of our seniors and families who rely on those pharmacies.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I just may add something, and only because 4003, lost our, or maybe it was CC's. I think it's like straddling.
It straddles, yeah.
Yeah, it's right on the border. At any rate, I mean, there's a lot of residential growth and commercial growth, quite frankly, happening along Kennedy Street. So if anything, this is a neighborhood that's going to see more demand. And, as someone that works in commercial real estate development, I can tell you that, I'm aware that a lot of these, think about WeWork and how thinly spread these folks were before COVID. And, COVID changed the commercial real estate landscape environment. And so I'm aware of that. But it seems really imprudent and egregious to pull the rug out from under us, on 2 occasions, because as you said, there are a lot of folks that, rely on those stores, and, we're becoming somewhat of a pharmacy desert here, in the sense that it's not easy or convenient, especially for folks who are mobility challenged, or income restricted to get to. So we need a pharmacy, to stay and come back. And so, I don't know if there's any carrot or stick tools available at sort of the legislative level, but, if that's something that you all can explore to sort of incentivize these folks, and I think you may have alluded to that, that would be great, because folks shouldn't have to travel far and wide to get, essentially what they need, to survive in some cases. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you again, council member, for joining us this evening. We really appreciate you being here. Oh, I see a question from
there was a young princess.
neighbor Mirabelle. Princess Mirabelle?
Yes, my name is Princess Maribel. I live in 4D. I live on 3rd Street. And I have a business on Upshur Street. My business is at 4D, 4C, ANC. And I believe I'm at the correct meeting. My business is a cannabis store. I opened it in 4D in 2016 or in 2019, and I moved to Upshur in 2021. DC is going through a period where they're licensing shops, cannabis stores, to move them out of the illicit market into the legal cannabis market. And I'm having to petition the government in honor of my store, because the next door neighbor got issued a plaque card for a cannabis license in advance of mine getting approved.
Oh, wow.
And I've been there since like 2021.
Yeah.
And in 4D since 2019. And so I just need to make you all aware of my application. And if you can do anything on my behalf, I would really appreciate it. My business is Cannabis Karma and Life Luxy.
Yeah, I remember you were on Upshur by the Popeyes, and then you moved to you were on Georgia and Hamilton, and then you moved to Upshur Street. Okay.
Absolutely. So mine is 825, and 827 shares a wall with me and got approved a cannabis license.
Okay. I'm going to give you Emily Tatro from my team. She's on this call, and she asked for me to make sure you give that she's going to put her information in the chat for you to reach out to her. But we are in the process right now. If the person applied next door, we do have new rules where you all can't be next to each other.
Yeah.
And there's a distance thing there. So it will be, and I don't know what whether their application is pending or their application is approved. If they're
approved.
Oh, if it's approved, then
with the plaque card, well, it has a plaque card pending public hearing and notice. They also, the same company applied at 5425 Georgia Avenue and also has got the approval from APCA. I'm an existing business. I'm not asking for them to not have a license. They just can't be next door to me. They have to choose to have a pending license somewhere else if they're going to give them 2 of them.
Yeah, they're going to have 2. Okay. Well, I think you're making a compelling argument. Emily has put her information in the chat. So she'll reach out to you, and we'll get your information. We'll chat you on the side to get your information and see what we can do to try to mitigate the situation. Because right now we are going through that process where those are we're making those last minute decisions on cannabis shops.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening to me.
And I'll also let you know that we have not seen anything from APCA relating to your business across our desk, but if we receive something, we'll certainly reach out and get in touch with you and talk about how to proceed. So,
okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Bell?
Yeah. Could you state again the address of and what was the address of the business next to you as well?
825 Upshur.
Okay.
And they're 827 Upshur.
Thank you so much. And thank you
Yep.
again, Commissioner or Council Member for joining us. I do too.
you.
Appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you. Ms. Rogers, I don't know if you have anything to add. I know that you posted a number of comments in the chat, but I'll turn the floor over to you if you have anything that you'd like to say.
I do not. Council member covered it all. Thank you all so much.
Thank
Don't
you.
forget to remind the seniors that we have office hours every Wednesday at Hattie Homes. And it's from what time, Barbara? I forget.
1:30 to 2:30. I was there today.
So every Wednesday. So if you're a senior and you don't want to call, you don't have time for email, just come in person to Hattie Homes every Wednesday. The end.
And Council Member, I would be remiss
Council.
if I didn't tell you that Ms. Rogers is the highlight of our meeting every month. So just so you know.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Here, are you?
So thank you both. Next up, we've got Mr. Derek Johnson from the mayor's office, but I believe that Mr. Johnson is not with us tonight because he is busy coordinating for the city open in July. But Mr. Johnson, are you here? Okay. Next up, we've got a representative from the Office of the People's Council, who's here tonight physically with us. Again, I apologize to everybody about the technological mix-up, so please bear with us as we try and do the best we can. But here I'm going to turn the floor over to representative from the People's Council.
Hi, good evening. My name is Cheryl. Cheryl Morse. I'm with the Office of the People's Council under the watchful eye of Sandra Matabu Fry as the People's Council for Washington, D.C. Our office, we are the consumer advocate for utility issues, gas, electric, and water. Your issues can range from bills are too high, quality of service is not what it should be, work is being done in my neighborhood and it's not fixed back the way it was before they got there, the utility companies, that is. That's just a gamut of a small part of what we do. We're also a law firm. We're the ones that take the utilities to court when your quality of service is not what it should be. Just to talk about a few of the hot topics with OPC. Right now, we have received kudos on OPC's legal team with the Consumer City and the PSC making orders for the investigation of the Washington Gas and Light environmental research for pipes or leaking pipes in these gas pipes in DC. We have pursued this since February of 2024, and recently the commission has agreed to start an order, and that order number is 22004. And in that order, there will be 3 technical sessions that will be taken care of or looked at. One, conference 1 would be the leak detection and leak of their services. Conference number 2 would be the examination of Washington Gas's protocols when leaks are detected. Technical 3 would be the analysis of the leaks after the investigation and so forth. After the investigation, OPC will, of course, be working with the Public Service Commission, and we will keep you up to date on the outcome of this investigation as well. Also, we inform people of what's going on in the city concerning their utilities. Something that we've seen in the past and we've noticed in great uptick are the third-party suppliers in DC. And we have a wonderful book that we have come up with that you can find on our website. And it explains what to do when you're approached by third-party suppliers. Third-party suppliers are here legally to get your service, but their manner in which some of them do that is the customers have problems with. So we suggest that if you have any questions about third-party suppliers, call the Office of the People's Council. Let us know if your bill has gone up. What we normally see and how we know when there's a problem is after the customer has got this enormous bill, we find out that a third-party supplier has been involved and they're being charged 2-3 times what the SOS provider, which is Pepco, would have charged if they had not switched over. So we're here to educate you. We let you know that you have the option to switch. The choice is yours, but we're here to also help you make an educated or the right choice for yourselves. Also, We are again asking if anyone needs the Office of the People's Council to come out into your community and visit your senior centers and any other organization that you would like us to visit and give a presentation, we'd be happy and glad to do so. And again, I'd like to thank the commission for allowing me to speak with you. And sorry, I forgot to mention that I am the representative for Ward 4. So I'm here. I have given out my cards. The office number is 202-727-3071. And again, please visit our website to get all of our information, find out what cases we're working on, such as Project Pipes. When Washington Gas is the infrastructure in the city with Washington Gas, they're changing it. It's over almost 100 years old. So they're in the neighborhoods doing the work. We're making sure that they do the work properly and that your property is put back in its condition prior to that work. But if things happen, of course, please give us a call. And again, Commission, thank you for allowing me to speak with you, and everyone have a great evening.
Thank you so much. Do you have time for questions?
Yes.
Questions from commissioners? Commissioner Corniotis.
I have a couple of questions for
Yes.
you. Morris, right?
Yes.
One is on my street, it's a very small street, 7th Place. We've had several leaks, gas leaks that, Washington Gas has come out repeatedly, specifically recently out of right in front of 5017, which has just been, recently by a mom and her young child. They've had a leak right outside of their home that, Washington Gas has said it has been repaired. And in the last couple of weeks, we haven't noticed an issue, but they literally had to come out 3 or 4 times before it was actually fixed. Then when I sometimes exit my car, I do still smell gas somewhere on the street. And what I was told was that we have several leaks that are on their schedule, but that we're not, that we're not scheduled to be they're not scheduled to be fixed, ASAP, so to speak. They're aware of them. So I wonder what is going on exactly. So that's my one question. My second question is, if there's leaks that are caused by, construction or what have you, is it on the homeowner to remediate that? Because that happened to me and my neighbor personally last year around this time. And, we had no choice but to pay, a plumbing company to fix the leak. Because Washington Gas said it's on the inside, that's not our responsibility, but it was caused by something from the outside.
Give us a call. We have
Okay.
engineers that would
Okay.
handle that, and your case is not uncommon.
Okay,
Okay. Again, Project Pipes,
Yeah.
they're here to do good,
Yeah.
to change out the infrastructure, but there are issues.
Yeah.
And that's why we're addressing it through our petition, with the Public Service Commission. But please give us a call, because whether Washington Gas has their listing of where they're going to do their work, that needs to be updated. We meet with them quarterly and we ask them these questions, but of course we have the link to ask now. Are they in your area? When are they coming to your neighborhood? We'll let you know. And putting you off until then is not a good answer.
Yeah.
So I will work with that.
Thank you.
So you have my card. So
Yeah.
please give me a call.
Thank you.
Other questions? Hearing none, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate your
Again,
presence.
thank you for having me.
Fantastic presentation from Cheryl Morris and OPC.
Thank you, Commissioner Morency.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Merzick, for setting it up too. Next up, we've got Mr. Brian Hammer from the National Center for Children's and Families. Mr. Hammer, are you present tonight? Let's see. Not hearing anything, we will move on. Next up, we've got Ms. Elizabeth Butterworth from the Legal Counsel for the Elderly. Ms. Butterworth, are you there?
I believe Joyce said you may come next month.
Hearing none, we will move on then. Next, we've got committee updates. I see that Commissioner Pinckney is not here to give an update on the library, so we will move on unless any other commissioners have any library updates.
I think we heard quite an update earlier from the council member.
Then the only other business on the agenda tonight is Le Coupe Coffee Shop, who is going to be presenting on their plan for outdoor seating. So we will turn the floor over to Le Coupe.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Juan Luis Salazar. I'm the owner of La Coupe Coffee, together here with my wife, Stephanie. We appreciate the opportunity and to present what we have for you today. As part of our new location, it's the outdoor seating that we are trying to show to you today.
So we are going to attempt to share our screen here. Give me 1 second as I try to figure this out. Share. I don't know if you have to give me permission here, but
You should have, you should be able to.
see if that works. Does that work? Can you see that?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So like Juan said, I'm Stephanie. We're happy to be here with you guys today to share our ideas for outdoor space at 500 Kennedy. So those of you who are familiar with the building know that it has a really nice corner side yard. And so what we're hoping to do is really activate that corner through a lot of outdoor seating. So what you see here are a lot of border plants, planters. We have pergolas over 2 main outdoor seating areas on the side. And then some additional seating that will be on the existing brick paver area that already is there. Under the areas where we do have tables and chairs, we're looking to add some permeable pavers. Right now it's just dirt. And so just to keep it nice and clean, looking to, with, like I said, with aside from some of the border plantings and planters themselves, looking to put permeable pavers underneath those tables and chairs. There are bike racks right next to the front door of the space. But in order to create sort of a natural exit point from the shop right into the outdoor seating, we're looking to move those bike racks on the Kennedy Street side. So you can see that pictured here in the plans. I think that's more or less the plan. I can scroll up here so you can see in a couple of these other views just the pavers plans. And then let me scroll up to the first screen here so you can see a little bit of a rendering of what we had in mind. There's some heaters for when it gets a little bit cooler, and hope to keep the outdoor seating going through the fall and things like that. With that, I can stop there and see if there are any questions. Happy to go into some additional details as well. Sure.
Thank you so much for your presentation. So now we will turn the floor over to questions. We'll start with questions and comments from commissioners. Questions or comments from any commissioners?
Anthony, do you mind if I make a comment?
No, go ahead, Commissioner Lucarelli.
Hey, yeah, thanks. And actually, do you mind going back to that schematic piece? That was helpful. Yeah, so Carson Lucarelli, 4003. My girlfriend and I just took a walk before this meeting, and we walked by the business, and we were able to see the new doors and all that. So yeah, I mean, we're really great to see that you're activating this corner spot. It has a really commanding presence along a prominent intersection in 4D, and so I think this is a much better and higher use as opposed to what was there before, which was nothing. 2 questions though, and I want to say that I'm glad that the I don't know if that mural is still there of Quran. I think it is, but I like that they've thrown that in the rendering. So that's also great. And that was the gentleman that lost his life on Kennedy Street during a police chase. But anyways, Two questions. Is there controlled pedestrian access into the rear of the outdoor seating area? I don't know if you can go back to that plan view, but it was plan left. And I'm asking because I think we're all on like a group chat and WhatsApp, and I remember a couple months ago, folks were illegally parking either on the property or within the public right of way. And so the owner, who maybe one of you all, at least who's in the chat, responded and, indicated that they had put up some sort of boulder, some type of vertical element. And I'm just wondering if that is going to remain because it does seem to be an issue sometimes, in the neighborhood, people just, just trying to take more than what they, actually need. So,
Yeah. No, thank you for asking that. And I think the plan is definitely to make the space feel closed in as part of the cafe, to feel like an adjacent, an extension of the inside, hopefully. And so that's where like the planters and the plantings will hopefully create that sense of a barrier with the sidewalk so that the cafe itself feels closed in. In terms of the back area that faces the alley, as of right now,
sorry to interrupt, but yeah, that's where I'm talking about specifically. Folks are coming in off of 5th Street, either northbound or southbound, and they're pulling in that alley. And at one point, they were parking, essentially in on top of the sidewalk, and y'all had responded, I think accordingly with traffic barriers and or some sort of a boulder. And I just want to know if there's going to be some element that's going to deter people from doing that.
Yeah.
Moving forward, because I just I foresee it as not only being an issue that y'all will have to deal with, but also one that potentially endangers the public. And that's what I'm most concerned about. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. And thank you for sharing that. As of right now, what we have on the plans, the alleyway side is not closed in. And, there's some need for that because you need
That's
some
fine.
access for deliveries and things like that. Just the nature of,
Well, I don't want you to close. Sorry, I think we're getting lost in the weeds here. I don't want you to close the alley.
okay.
Because,
Yeah,
because
no.
you don't own that property. What I'm saying is the portion of your property that abuts the alley, folks were parking on that before this building was under renovation.
Okay.
And so what I'm asking is, are the boulders that are there that have been used as a vertical deterrent, because you can't drive over a boulder and therefore people aren't parking illegally on the sidewalk anymore, are those going to remain? That's the only question I have.
Sorry. Yes. Boulders will.
Yeah, no, I understood what you were trying to say. And I saw it too. I saw it a couple of times. And even when we were in discussions about this space, we saw it with the owner. But yeah, so this area is going to be closed in. So
great.
we probably would also want to put a gate in the back. And we have one parking spot or two, I think. And yeah, so it's big enough that also we might move some of these tables here because there's a nice tree. So yes, this is going to be closed in and also part of the the whole backyard, since also we want to do events the weekends. So all these parts are going to become like a part of the backyard.
I think this is great. I'm happy to, if any of this requires a vote tonight, I'm happy to support it. I mean, we need more sit-down establishments on Kennedy Street. We have Mitas now, which is serving alcohol, which is great because it allows folks a little more flexibility. We have the seafood restaurant, obviously Ancho, and now you all. So this is great. We need more activity on the street, and this is a great use of the building. And so I appreciate you all commitment to Kennedy Street and the greater 4D. So thanks.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Commissioner. Other questions or comments from any commissioners? Commissioner Cornelius.
I just want to specify. So this is an actual physical new location that you'll be moving into, or instead of being part of, or working out of Ancho, correct? I just want to make that.
Yes.
Clarify that. And
Yes.
congratulations. I just wanted, again, to clarify that for everyone on the call.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Other questions or comments from any of the commissioners? Yeah, Commissioner Weigel.
I had a quick question about the location. Were you asking for the bike racks to actually be placed on Kennedy Street to help greenwash that corner? So to prevent actual car parking near the pedestrian crosswalk? Or were you looking to get the bike racks on the sidewalk next to Kennedy Street? Because I would encourage you, if you could get the city to do like a dedicated parking space for bicycles, scooters, etc.
Oh, like a bike corral?
Yeah, bike corral out front. That would help greenwash the corner and
Okay.
prevent cars from blocking that and making it safer for pedestrians to cross north and south on Fifth there.
Okay.
Is-
Is that, so, yeah,
It's not something that you need to change for your current plans. It's just
Okay.
something that you can.
no, that's great. I mean, that's great feedback. Where the additional bike racks are pictured, they're
Yeah.
right next to, there are a few.
Yeah,
there are a
it
few
does look like they still occupy some sidewalk space. It's a wide sidewalk.
Yeah,
like,
it
I'm
is
not-
pretty wide.
Yeah, just the fact that you have bike racks in general is fantastic.
Yeah,
I would just encourage maybe like working with DDOT to get a bike corral out front there
okay.
to prevent, because people are gonna be pulling up to come get coffee quickly.
Mhm.
And they're gonna be doing some fairly daring parking around your business.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You're gonna have the scofflaws who. It's good you have the boulders out back, is all I'm gonna say.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
but they're definitely gonna block that alley to run in and get a dirty horse out as fast as possible,
yeah.
All right.
you know?
Thank you.
Yeah, so anything to kind of like deter that, because that behavior is gonna happen anyway.
Right,
Right.
okay.
Can I ask, what is it that you need for us to move forward? Because I don't believe that the ANC has any sort of official approval or veto of your plan, but what can we do to support you?
Well, I think what I understand from DDOT in the process, that ANC input is part of their overall decision-making process. And I think besides, just a general permitting process, we want to make sure this is what folks also were envisioning for the corner, and make sure that you all are supportive of this, since it's a long-term plan. So just your general support. If you agree with our renderings here, we are looking to submit for permit very soon. And my understanding is then it will probably come back to the ANC in some form formally. But perhaps if there's another way that it comes across your desk that I'm not aware of.
Commissioner Bell has something to say.
Yeah, when you emailed me earlier today, I actually looked into it, and it looks like DDOT has a system called TOPS. It's a system that I have access to. I believe when you submit your permit application, I'll be able to add an endorsement to that from the ANC, and that's in particular what I'll be motioning later today to do, is that we endorse your permit application when it comes to us through the DDOT's top system, which we have access to through the back end.
Thank you. Commissioner Murnsick?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think what we're looking to do is give an official endorsement and a draft letter. If you have a draft letter, I think we can approve it today. But I think, once you have that letter, then we vote on it to approve. That's what we've done in the past.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments from any commissioners? No? Thank you so much for presenting tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To clarify, sorry, I couldn't hit my unmute button. I'm in favor too. So I didn't say that as a sidebar against it. No, I cannot wait for this to happen.
Great. Thank you all very
Thank you.
much. We
Thank you for
appreciate
the
it.
opportunity.
We'll turn the floor over to the public now for any public questions or comments. Anyone present tonight have any announcements or questions? Neighbor Osman.
Hello, good evening. My name is Tal. I'm actually not a resident of this I guess, AC area. But I still wanted to reach out to everybody here because I'm currently part of the DC Tutoring and Mentoring Initiative. And we are trying to get the word out about the need for volunteers at McFarland Middle School, which is in Petworth. I believe it's a street across or next to Upshur Park. And so I wanted to just share that with people, let you know that there is a pretty big need for volunteers, but a way for people to help out. And so I also wanted to share that we'd be hosting a movie night next week at McFarland Middle School on the front lawn. And so, we'll be having some light snacks there. We'll be showing The Karate Kid. I know that's something a lot of people like. It's a personal favorite movie of mine. And so I wanted to share that with everyone and also open up the floor for any questions if people were wondering about how to get involved or, wanted to know what they could do. Yeah, that's all I wanted to share and happy to take any questions if people have any.
It looks like Commissioner Forniotis has a question for you.
Hello, Ms. Osman. What type of subjects do you need volunteers for?
So it is mostly English, math, and science subjects, all at the middle school level. They do also specifically have a robotics program. And so, that is, I've had a couple volunteers who had robotics experience or, I think someone is a robotics engineer. And so that's just one specific thing, but they do have pretty open needs.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And could I
Thank you so
ask you, would
much.
it be possible for you to put your contact information in the chat so that if people who are interested, they know how to get in touch with you to ask further questions?
Absolutely, happy to do so. And I will go ahead and switch my video off, but thank you so much for the space to make this announcement and appreciated hearing everything that was before.
Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for all the good work that you do. And I think Commissioner Abell had a question or a comment.
On behalf of everyone, can you share again what was the movie night and details about that again? Or is that already passed?
No, that's actually coming up on Tuesday night. And so it starts at 8, but the actual movie starts playing after sunset when it gets dark. So maybe around 8:45. But it would be on Tuesday, July 2nd, at 8 p.m. McFarland Middle School on the front lawn. Hard to miss. And we'll be showing The Karate Kid.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to announce that on the Petworth list, the different listservs as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you again for joining us. Any other questions or comments from members of the public? Any announcements from any commissioners?
Yes, I have an announcement.
Commissioner Forniotis.
One is, I was reached out by DPR yesterday regarding having another movie night at Lorenzo Allen Park. And it's scheduled for Tuesday, July 16th at 7 p.m. There's a number of movies we can choose from, so I will be sending a newsletter / email with the choices, maybe a survey monkey for people to vote on what movie that we want to see as a community. Again, that's tentatively it's scheduled for Tuesday, July 16th at 7 p.m. at Lorenzo Allen Park.
Announcement from Commissioner Morensic.
Yes, I was reminded by a very concerned constituent that the ANC nominating petitions are coming around July through August 7th. So if anyone is interested in running for commissioner or rerunning for commissioner, that is the time for collecting signatures. I'll post in the chat a link with information about how to run, and good luck to anyone who's interested.
Thank you, Commissioner. Other announcements, Commissioner Abell.
Just want to remind people again, tomorrow, with a council member doing a walkthrough at 1 o'clock in front of Mita. Meet us there. Also, repeat something that she mentioned as well, that tomorrow, the Better Bus Network Town Hall is gonna be at Coolidge High School at 6:30. If you have concerns or comments about the Better Bus plan, please go there. Specifically, I want to highlight that the connection between Fort Taunton to Lamont Riggs Library is going to be cut off. So if you want access from Kennedy Street all the way to Lamont Riggs instead of just to Fort Taunton, and you have to walk the rest of the way on the bus, please comment. And also the north-south routes, specifically 63, which goes all the way downtown, will, the way it's reconfigured now will be completely different in that it will only go to Georgia Avenue. So we'll lose access all the way to downtown. So you will have to go over to New Hampshire and take the bus down that way if you want to go all the way downtown, or you have to go to Georgia Avenue and take the Georgia Avenue Metro downtown. So all these things are changes that affect the routes that we should comment about. So please.
Thank you, Commissioner. Other announcements? Commissioner Marenzek, is that a new hand raise or is that from before?
My God.
I'm sorry, that's from before.
Right, all right. Hearing no other announcements, we'll move on. Any other business from any commissioners before the commission? Commissioner Abell?
I want to make a,
Yeah, go for it.
I believe it is time. The Coop is asking for our endorsement for their permit, so I would like to make a motion that we endorse their permit application for a sidewalk cafe.
Second.
Commissioners, when I call your name, please say aye if you support the endorsement. Commissioner Pinckney is not here. Commissioner Abell?
Aye.
Commissioner Lucarelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Corniotis?
Aye.
Commissioner Marenzek?
Aye.
Commissioner George is not here. Commissioner Weigel?
Aye.
And I am also an aye. The motion passes.
Oh, Bell.
Oh, I got him, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
The motion passes. So we will write up an endorsement for the outdoor seating at La Coupe. We look forward to having coffee there sometime.
Thank you, guys. Look forward to hosting you.
And before we adjourn, I just want all of us to send some positive vibes, prayers, whatever you believe in, to our Commissioner Pinckney, because she hasn't been feeling well for quite a while. And I think it would be beneficial for us as a community to hold her in our thoughts. And again, I don't, prayers as well, if that's what you do. So that's, I wanted to say that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Having no other business before the commission tonight, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The commission will officially adjourn. Thank you all again for joining us tonight. Thank you for understanding about the technology mix-up, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks in July. Have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
everybody. Great job.
Yeah, have a good night. Anthony and Cece, I'll say that if anyone goes to see Joy, or if there's any sort of arrangements for her, just let us know offline in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, I will.
Will do.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
All right, take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
Ciao.